Hey folks, welcome back to Grunty's Revenge. Here in Spiral Mountain, just got done with the first level, Cliff Farm, and we now have the jiggies to go to level 2. Between every level, you have to go back here and exchange your jiggies for an open door, and it does get tedious, but that's kind of par for the course. And there is the second level, Regal Beach. Now you can already guess based on the title that it is a beach level, and if you've played the original Banjo-Kazooie or you're familiar with it, you'll know that the second level of that game was also a beach level. So you can see just references abound. Or uncreativity, who knows. Anyway, intended way to get over there is by climbing that with your newfound climbing ability. And walking right over to the entrance. Nice and smooth. Now, for those of you unfamiliar with the Banjo-Kazooie canon, which is the silliest term ever, Breagles are actually the species that Kazooie is. So, there's a good chance that we'll get a little bit of Kazooie action in this level, if not a lot. Anyway, it's a beach. Has some nice instrumentation for the beach feel. And you even have a seashell collecting minigame. I really hope you like this rat, because you're going to see this guy a lot. Anywho, 5 shells scattered throughout, a lot like the chicks that we saw in the first level, and you're going to see that mechanic repeated many times. Fitting through a small hole. How do you figure? How do you think we're gonna do that? Well, you remember in the last... Oh, right, eggs. We've seen eggs, we know about eggs. You remember in the last level, we had the mouse power, which allowed us to go into smaller spaces. And since transformations can be used in all levels, regardless of which one you unlock them in, you can, in fact, use the mouse transformation here to get into that little cavern. And there we go. There's no new transformation this level, so the mouse will have to tide us over, unfortunately. Anyway, this is actually something of a stealth section, believe it or not. Because the mouse really doesn't have any way of fighting back against the enemies. As far as I'm aware, his nibbling technique doesn't cause any damage and has a terrible hitbox anyway. So it's actually a stealth section, except it's not instantly lose if you get caught. See, look at that, that totally should look. Absolutely awful hitbox. Luckily it's not abused too much, but this isn't the last time we'll see it. Oh, I see, reusing the Jinjo sound bites for that. Oh wait, no, that's the Jinjo. Silly me. So yeah, Grunty has, like, captured all these Breagles and sent them into manual labor. I'm not entirely sure how Breagles can do proper manual labor, because they don't have, like, opposable thumbs or muscles or anything. They're just like birds. But hey, I guess she has her ways. And there's our Jiggy. And we can retire the mouse for the episode. And I like the mouse. Compared to some other transformations, it's well used and it's kind of fun to scoot around at mouse speed. Now then, we're actually going to go after the boss quite early in this level. Unfortunately, the levels are often designed that you really have to fight the boss pretty early on in order to access certain parts, like getting a Mumbo token for a transformation, or in this case, rescuing Kazooie to have access to various moves. So let's head in here, her Quarry. And see the boss pad right over there. Let's get going. Oh, you giant dick. I don't know what's up with the people shooting from the towers there. I've never had a problem with them, but I get shot like twice in this recording. It's never happened before. Anyway, there's Kazooie, and also the villains, but mostly Kazooie. So, Klungo has given Grunty a bit of his shielding technology. So, for much of this fight, it kind of plays out really similar to the Klungo fight, except she can only move in straight lines, so she's much easier to dodge. She does get faster, but there are ways around that. What are you doing, Grunty? But overall, pretty predictable in her first phase. She has 2 phases, which is cool. I like phases. Phases are good. So once you get 3 hits in on her, she will start to do a Bootius Maximus down on you. Smash you to the ground. And in multiples of 3, she will make herself vulnerable. And the best way to avoid these is to roll. Rolling gives you a bit of the quick momentum away. Even though you completely stop once the roll is done, it's quick enough to get you out of the way for attack. Yeah, you better run. Anywho, now that Grunty's down, we now have access to our avian brethren buddy person. I say brethren even though she's female and not of the same species. Because it's a soul connection, man. So, now that we have Kazooie, we have access to a variety of different moves. The one she gives us is a flip-flap, which basically lets us ascend to greater heights. And I will never call it the flip-flap jump. I will either call it a high jump or a parrot duck flobe or something of that nature. Even though there isn't actually a parrot duck flobe in this game, that's totally what they were saying in the original, and so it stuck with my childhood self. Anywho, see, look! Sniped again! My god, ridiculous. Anyway, the thing about doing high jumps is that the isometric perspective really makes things kind of difficult to judge whether they're on the proper plane for you to reach them. It's basically the platforming issues we've already experienced, except made even worse. So, like, look, you would not know how high that cliff was from that perspective, but whatever. Anywho, now that we have Kazooie, we can learn all of Bazai's moves in this level, and we get access to a variety of cool abilities. Let's see here, egg firing. Inspired much more by the Banjo-Tooie egg firing than the Banjo-Kazooie egg firing. Because in Tooie, there were these first-person segments that were really out of place and pretty terrible, and in those, Banjo wielded Kazooie like a gun. And so all of the egg firing in this game is done from the same method, except in third person, rather than staying sedentary and shooting out the front or back like in the original. But you will see that in action in just a few seconds. So yeah, not all the shooting is in a minigame like this, but many are. This is kind of their way of paying homage to the first-person segments of Tooie. Now, why they felt they needed to do that when they were so awful, I don't really know. But anyway, shoot down this ghost ship dude. I mean, it's a beach level. You kind of needed to have pirates at some point, because this is a Banjo game. And they always have pirates. The games are originally gonna be about pirates. You kind of need to have pirates, so. What are you doing up there? Get down from there. Treasure in the ocean, you say? Let's take advantage of that. And so now we can hop down. Well, we did it before, but now we can do it with a clear conscience and learn another move. Now this move here is probably the one that I'll use the most throughout the playthrough. Just because there are situations where you need it, but there are just situations where it's plain useful. You're probably familiar with it from the original game. It's basically a way to extend the horizontal reach of your jump. And also change your direction mid-jump. I'll show it to you after this minigame. Which is the worst fucking minigame. Oh my god, I hate this one. So a little note before I start complaining, this little kid is actually Captain Blubber, who you may recognize from Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie. And he was always one of my favorite characters, because he was always so joyful and full of happiness and bouncing. And it makes me sad that this minigame fills me with such rage, because I like Mr. Blubber. He's a cool guy. So the goal here is to hold on to that treasure chest for the longest duration of any of the participants. And sometimes you'll get lucky and you can just run away from everybody. Sometimes you'll get unlucky and you just have no chance. So like, you're supposed to be able to fire cannons to knock people away and get rid of the chest like they do to you. But good luck actually doing it to them. But yeah, I will fire cannonballs later in this, and you will see that the hit detection is just the worst ever created. So yeah, this is an example of an ideal run. You just kind of run away, and they can't really catch you. So apparently the cannonball goes in like an arc, so it's not actually, if it looks like it's going through somebody, it doesn't actually hit them. You have to actually land on them, and good luck. Luckily, there's no penalty for failure except having to do it again, so I can't give it too much gripe, but just bad. It's really bad. Anyway, there's the flip-flap. I think. No, is that the flip? No, it's the flutter thingy. Whatever. I don't remember the names of any of these things. But yeah, you can just use it to extend your jump, or to start moving in a different direction mid-jump. And it's just very nice. I use it subconsciously all the time. Oh god, the mines. The mines are the worst. I have died to those mines many times. Anyway, jump up here. Flutter over here. And you can grab that jiggy that you just saw. One of the easier jiggies, but it teaches you to use the flutter alright, so I'm willing to give it a pass. Now, unlike the original games, I'm pretty sure that flutter jumping across the water is in fact slower than swimming, but I still do it instinctively a lot. Shiny things always mean good things. Let's go for it. But first we have another shiny thing. Important. Anywho, underwater segment. Kinda needed one in the beach, so... This is pretty chill, honestly. You're not in danger of running out of air, and it's a linear path, you won't get lost. And if you somehow manage to get lost, the dolphin will wait for you. So really, it's just a relaxing little swim through the undersea ruins. Now, the only one thing you might miss is if you go over to the left here, you can grab an empty honeycomb piece. Very useful, highly recommended. And other than that, just some notes and a jiggy. And an underwater pirate ship with treasure, ha! Take that, one-eyed skeleton dude. And once you've done that, you can exit, and that takes care of the underwater segment. I'm glad they didn't abuse underwater too much as I like it. It doesn't control very well, but it is a nice little break from the typical going around collecting things, and also the color scheme is a lot nicer than this bright yellow. Anywho, another shell. Only one more to go, and we'll find it in just a few seconds. This isn't a particularly large level. None of the levels in this game really are, compared to, like, Banjo-Tooie. But they'll start more and more forcing you to trek across, back and forth, and that'll extend the time a little bit. And I will go grab that jiggy once I'm done with the festivities up here. And here we can grab our last new move of the level, and one of my personal favorites, and kind of a mainstay of the series again, almost notorious. Yes, the Talon Trot. Essentially a way of moving more quickly, having traction on low traction substances, going up slopes, and create noises as long as you move. People familiar and dedicated to the series have learned to simply tune out that noise. And so we have another slide segment. Those again are common, and again I don't dislike them, but already you're seeing that minigames are getting reused quite a bit. Hop up, grab notes, grab our last Jinjo. If you're doing things like I've done them, you will just get a bunch of messages right here. Because you get 100 notes, you get all the Jinjos, you just got all the shells. Luckily you don't get a message for collecting all the honeycomb pieces, so it's all good. And anyway, this slide segment is not hard at all. There are plenty of grubs to spare. And overall, it's pretty slow moving. You don't have to worry too much, unless you get greedy like I did there. Yeah, if you're really good, you can, like, watch the other side of the screen and see what's coming up next. But I find I just get confused when I try to do that. Ew, that's sexual. Anyway, now it's just a Jiggy roundup. God, I hate those things. Stressful as hell. But you can outswim them is the thing. If you're moving in a straight direction, you can outswim them. It's just, if you panic, you'll die. Skip down, trot over to here. Talk to this guy, give him his shells. It's always satisfying to be like, alright, I've accomplished everything, and now I just need to reap the rewards. Yeah, again, how is she making the Breagles do that? They have wings. Unless they're slowly whittling the rocks with their talons or something. I don't know. I don't understand. I'm thinking about Banjo-Kazooie. Anyway, last one right there. And a bit of foreshadowing to the next level. So that takes care of Breagle Beach. Next time is Bad Magic Bayou, and I will see you guys next time.